Hey there, author CJ and Aya here. I am super excited today to talk a little bit about character archetypes because I have been getting a lot of questions about character development. And I really feel that this is kind of the first step to all of that as you decide what type of character you're going to include, who's going to be your protagonist, male or female. And I always feel that the very best way to do this is to start with archetypes. Now this slide right here that you're seeing is a slide from my online course that I'm currently developing. There is a whole module that goes very in depth into how to create characters. And so I'm not going to go into the whole thing. Because the online course is going to be available soon, and if you're watching this a year after I've created this video, then most likely the link to that online course is down in the description box. If this is recent, then it won't be available yet, but I will be sure to let you know. But I did want to go over just a little bit of this, not in too much detail, but to give you an idea what a character archetype is. So simply stated, a character archetype is kind of like a psychological profile of a specific type of character, which is nice because with that psychological profile, you really have a lot of room to maneuver, but you also understand that character's motivations, how they're going to react to specific things, especially as you start to fill in the blanks of their background, okay? So I want to show you this. In the list below are some comic heroic archetypes, both male and female, that are found in mythology, fairy tales, folklore, literature, movies. You can also find these referenced in the book Heroes and Heroines. I really like books that talk about archetypes. This one talks about 16. There are some that talk about 45. I've done a lot of research and studying all of this. But something that I talk about when I tell people to study the market when they're writing their books and they're coming up with ideas is because these archetypes, they pop up frequently. And some of them are more popular than others. And that's not to say that you're copying anyone, but you are taking a specific psychological profile and pairing it with another specific psychological profile to have these type of characters interacting with one another. So we're gonna take a look at these, if I can. There we go. Okay, so there's the chief. This is for the heroes, for the males, okay? There's the chief, the bad boy, the best friend, the lost soul, the charmer, and this is for the females. Oh no, it's not. These are just for the males. Sorry about that. The charmer, the professional, the swashbuckler, and the warrior, okay? So I just kind of wanted to show you the hero side of things, the different types of archetypes that you're going to see. And I just wanted to identify a few to give you an idea. So Captain Kirk, for example, from Star Trek, he's totally the chief. He totally fits that character archetype of kind of coming from nothing, but being the boss, leadership roles, being able to give direction, delegating, expecting people to follow them, very overprotective, getting the job done, get out of my way. If you don't get out of my way, then, get out of my way if you're not going to do it because I'm going to do it. They usually build themselves up from nothing, or they were born to be a leader. If you've read those Highlander romances, usually, the chief is the chief, literally a chief of something. He could be a CEO of something. He could be a prince who knows his destiny and is going to be a ruler. And so they love big and they do big very well. So that's just an example. The bad boy, I think a really good example of that is that guy from Dirty Dancing, and now I'm forgetting it, Johnny Castle. Is it Johnny Castle? I'm trying to remember. So, the bad boy, he may be bad, but he's really just misunderstood. So that's a type of profile, psychological profile that you would understand and know about. And so I'm going to go into a lot of detail in my online course about this, but I just want you to understand that when it comes to developing characters, you need to understand their motivations. And the way that you understand their motivations is by understanding their backstory. And these character archetypes, they have a fairly, the chief is going to have a fairly similar backstory, even though you can do a lot of different characters from the chief. The basic backstory for most of them is that they're either born to be a leader or they came from nothing and made themselves something, you know, worked 3 jobs in high school or something like that, became an entrepreneur, that type of thing. So I really wanted you to have kind of an idea of this, because when you understand a character's psychology and when you understand their motivations, then as you develop your book, you also understand how they're going to react to stressors, how they're going to react to a love interest. You know how they're going to react to other specific personalities, and so their characters and their actions and reactions to things are much more believable, because you can sit there and put them in a situation and think, okay, how would this person react to this? How would the chief react to this based on what he's been through? You know, how would Captain Kirk react to a specific threat on his crew and on his ship? How would he react to loss of control with his crew and his ship? You know, so, and I think we can all agree that that's going to be fairly straightforward. You know, he's going to tackle it head on and, you know, not deal with mutiny or anything, but he's also going to recognize that lack of control is a scary thing. And so if we don't have these specific types of psychological profiles behaving in the way that they should, it's not going to be believable. Sometimes it can even be boring. So I just wanted to introduce you to the idea of character archetypes, what they are, give you an example of some 8 of the character archetypes for heroes, and then in a different video I can introduce you to the 8 different archetypes for heroines. But it's actually very easy to research this stuff also. You could grab this book that I've referenced here. There are several other books on Amazon that will talk to you about character archetypes. It's just very nice to have that idea, that profile, and you can just fill in the blanks. You know, what did their backstory look like? What kind of things happened in a character archetype such as the best friend, you know, to make them the best friend and put them in the best friend zone, whether it's a guy or a girl, to be honest with you. And what kind of challenges does that create if this is a romance? Or what kind of challenges does that create if this is a thriller or a mystery? So I love character archetypes. I love studying them, but then I wanted to be a psych major too, so that might have a little something to do with it. Anyways, I hope that this helps you. I'll put a few links to some of those books that talk about character archetypes in the description below. Let me know if you have any questions about character archetypes. If you have any questions about different characters that you've read about and maybe you're struggling to typecast them, I guess you could say, figure out what category they may fall under. And just know that as you read a lot, you can identify these types of characters, and it's very helpful to understand them, to be able to recognize them so that you can also implement that in your book and understand who your characters are and what their motivations are. So please comment, like the video if you found this helpful, subscribe if you're new here, and join our family, and we will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.